Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Today I will rank every single brawler in solo showdown, so you can finally choose what brawlers to play, which ones are good, which ones are not. And I also want to say thank you for 700,000 followers again. Thank you so much. The 1 million is getting closer and closer. Much love guys, your support is insane. But now have fun with the video. So we start with Shelly. Shelly has been meta since Brawlstars is released. She's a great all-rounder and especially a great counter against tanks, against assassins. She's very good on the bushy maps. She has like the most DPS, the best super when it comes to bush fights. It's like one of the best supers ever in Showdown, and the super didn't even get reworked or fixed or whatever. So about build, you play the second gadget, the second star power, shield damage, and if you have hypercharge of course. And we rank Shelly S tier. She had always a spot in solo Showdown. She's obviously not good on every map, more like on Skull Creek or like maps with some walls, not too open maps. Also Walk Roll Brawl, for example, Feast of Famine, Cavern Churn. So Shelly has so many maps, absolutely S tier. Next one on this list is Nita. So Nita unfortunately is quite bad. She gets the C tier, bad Showdown brawler unfortunately, but if you really want to force it, you can play the first gadget, the first star power combined with shield and damage, maybe speed if it's a bushy map, and also hypercharge. But she's a bad Showdown brawler, doesn't have much potential, and it takes just too long to get her bear, and if she doesn't have her bear then she's not too good. But I think you can play her on maps like Rock Wall Brawl. She actually should work there, but yeah, as I said, not too useful at all. Colt actually is decent, so I ranked him to B tier. It's like average. That's because Colt has been in a Showdown meta quite often yet, and you can play him on more open maps. Right now he faces way too many counters, so he doesn't really can compete with all the other brawlers, especially with Kid, for example, you know, just a kid jumping on you and you're dead with Colt. So for now, the build would be the second gadget, second star power, and also reload combined with shield if you have the hypercharge. Same for Bull, also decent brawler. I rank him B tier. Shelly just steals the show. You know, Shelly is just a tank counter, just the better version of Bull actually. You play the second gadget, the second star power on him, combined with the +1 and damage gear. You can also play speed if you want, since it's Showdown. Shield gear is also fine, you know, in Showdown shield gear is always fine, and if you have the hypercharge. Brock really fell off with the previous updates, the balance changes. Brock didn't look quite good there, so yeah, for me he just makes B tier, also average, but his gadget is quite nice. You would play the first gadget. Star power doesn't really matter to be honest, but I recommend the second one, but you can also play the first one. Gears are shield and reload if you have the hypercharge, but the hypercharge also quite useless in solo Showdown, so it's not Brock's time right now, you know. You can't play him in the current meta, not really an option. Primo actually got back in the meta, especially in the teamer meta. I wouldn't play Primo because without teaming, yeah, you shouldn't even try, but we see Primo quite a lot now. Primo can farm his super on like people that he teams with, and in combination with his super giving the burning damage, then using gadget, supering again, like Primo can pull off insane combos. And you probably would like to play damage and shield on him, maybe like speed. Speed always can be useful on tanks, and also if you have the hypercharge. So Primo is A tier. He's just a bit better than Bull, for example, because he can pull off better plays, and he can also counter Shelly, which is a huge factor in Showdown, you know. As I said, just supering, using gadget, doing some taps, supering again, so that's quite important against Shelly. So she cannot super, you can dodge her super, you can dodge shots. Primo A tier. Barley's actually quite unplayable, you know. The only map I can tell you is like Stormy Plains. That's like the only map I would see him. But yeah, we have brawlers like Edgar, Miko, Hit, Cordelius in the meta, so Barley doesn't stand a chance. If you want to pause it, you can play the first gadget, the second star power combined with shield and damage. But yeah, actually Barley unplayable, D tier. Same goes for Poco. He's also D tier. Literally every brawler can bully this guy. Like a Frank could literally just run straight to you, do whatever he wants. Kid just sneaks on you, kills you, so Poco has like no value at all. But if you want to push him, you will use the first gadget, the second star power obviously, the first one is useless, shield and damage gear. Rosa is also a teaming brawler, but just worse than Primo at the moment, so she dropped to B tier. That's because she got nerfed. She used to be Showdown meta in the last meta, but now she dropped a bit. So if you're a teamer, you would play the first gadget and make the map more bushy. Play the first star power combined with speed and the +1 gear, so you can place more bushes. And also if you have the hypercharge. Jessie unfortunately also is D tier, like unplayable. It takes way too long to get a turret. You won't win a single 1v1, for example. Just imagine an Edgar on 600 trophies. He jumps on you, you can't do nothing, you're dead. You won't be able to get your turret fast enough in the most games. But if you want to force it, you play first gadget, first star power, shield damage and hypercharge if you can. Dynamite, yeah. Dynamite is a love story, guys. So this brawler can pull insane plays in solo showdown. Only problem is nowadays you will need the jump star power to actually get away from like Edgar's or Miko's and stuff. He's not the very best pick right now because of kit and stuff, but overall he's still A tier, like a good brawler. I think on maps like Cavernchurn, where you don't face any kits, you can actually do very, very nice plays. You would play the second gadget, as I said, the jump star power combined with +1 and shield. If you have, you use the hypercharge. In my opinion, Tick is quite underrated. I mean, I still rank him C tier like that. I would never say he's unplayable because, for example, against Mortis and Miko or Edgar, whatever, a Sprout or a Grom, Larry and Lori, whatever, would just die. But Tick can actually, if he has his bomb, use his bomb. He can shoot at himself with his mines, so no one can just dash into you like nothing. You also have a shield gadget that helps you pushing away tanks or whatever, reducing the damage. So I think it would be too much if I say that Tick is average, but I think he still has potential, and I would say he's a lot better than brawlers like Sprout, Grom, Barley, etc. because Tick has way more potential to defend himself. The build on him would be the second gadget, the first star power so you can even heal faster, the mythic gear or +1 gear combined with shield, and if you have the hypercharge. So 8-bit is also B tier in my opinion. You most likely see him again when you see some teamers, but he has a lot of HP. He has a support gadget that can save him from certain situations. He has very high damage. The turret makes him even stronger, so I think 8-bit is quite fine. And you would play the first gadget on him, the second star power in combination with the reload gear and also shield, or if you want +1. Rico is also one of those underrated brawlers. For me, he's definitely A tier. His gadget can one-shot Edgar's, kits, whatever. No one can actually just get close to him, especially on maps like Cavernchurn. It's quite easy for him to reach like top 4 and sometimes even first place if you like use your gadgets intelligent, or even against Shellys you can win that face-off, but that's kind of rare. But yeah, you would play the first gadget, that's essential. The first and second star power is fine. With the first one you're just going to burst even more. The second one gives you more mobility and might save you from some unavoidable deaths. And for gears you play obviously the reload gear, and you can play shield or +1. I personally think shield is a better choice. So let's move on with Daryl. I also rank Daryl in B tier. You play the second gadget on him, the first star power in combination with shield and damage. Yeah, Daryl is nothing too special about him, but with his role he can do some really nice picks. There was a time where Daryl was meta back in the days. I'm not sure, but maybe it was Scorched Stone. I'm not sure about if the name was like that, but he had his prime time. He's not too bad. He can do some kills, so yeah, we are going with B tier. About Penny, well, she's a bad brawler, so she's ranked in C tier, but she's not too horrible because she has a gadget, a one-shot gadget. If you hit that right, you just one-shot anyone. With your mortar, you can actually do knockbacks, but the problem is you just need your mortar, and you also just have 3 gadgets, so... And it also doesn't always work like 100%, but if an Edgar jumps on you, that you can like 1 or 2 tap him. Most likely you just pull off like one shot, do 4k damage. It's just not enough, and then you just die, so kind of hard to play her. So as I said, first gadget, second star power, and shield plus damage. You can also play +1 instead of damage. That's your choice. Karl also has some very good maps. His gadget got buffed, but it's yeah not the right choice for solo showdown. I rank him A tier. It might be a bit too high, so he could also be B tier. I was like, okay, Karl has a lot of mobility. He has a great super, great star power, so I think he has quite a lot of potential. Might be a bit underrated, so I rank him there. His gadget would be the second one. Star power also the second one in combination with shield and damage. Next one on this list is Jackie. So yeah, Jackie is a simple brawler, you know, doesn't have the biggest skill cap. There are some nice maps for her, for example, Skull Creek, Stormy Plains, maybe even 55 if you want so. Feast of Famine. So I also pushed her to rank 30 already, even without teaming. I ranked her B tier. Might be underrated, but also isn't like the big carry. So if you face a Shelly with super, well, you can't do anything. So yeah, you play the first gadget on her, the first star power, and for example, if you play Feast of Famine, you play speed and damage obviously, but you can also play a lot of other builds on Jackie. Also shield and damage if there's not much bushes, or like shield and +1 gear if you want to have one more gadget, because the speed is quite useful, but I recommend playing her on Feast or Famine in combination with shield and damage. If you have, also use the hypercharge. Gus is also fine, especially because of the new rework on Gus. He now knockbacks enemies when he uses the super. So I ranked him B tier because now with the knockback you actually have an answer to brawler like Edgar, assassins, tanks, any backstabbers or whatever. So I play the first gadget for some extra damage. The second star power to even deal more damage. So you go for full damage on Gus in combination with the +1 gear and also shield. Usually I would rank Bo to A tier because of the maps like Cavernchurn, you know, there's bushy maps and you can play him there. But for solo Showdown, I'm honest with you, he only made B tier because on Cavernchurn you just see a lot of Shellys, a lot of buses, and they are all just camping, teaming. You're sitting in the mid with Bo, and also in the early game, Bo can be outplayed quite easily. You cannot really engage because the bus will just hook you and then you will die. But yeah, you would play the first gadget, block some projectiles. First star power obviously for maps like Cavernchurn to have vision, and reload gear combined with speed gear. You also could replay reload gear with vision gear. That gives you a bit more control in the bushes and you can hunt people down a bit better. Ems is ranked C tier, not the best brawler. She has a nice gadget, she has some burst damage, but same problem here. She just has 3 gadgets and even the gadget doesn't guarantee you that you don't die or whatever. So there's too many random things happening in Showdown that doesn't really allow you to play Ems here, also with all the new brawlers. But if you want to play, you play the first gadget, the first star power in combination with the shield gear and also +1. Stu, one of my favorite brawlers. I might be a bit biased here, not gonna lie, but for me Stu is actually a nice Showdown brawler. His super is has just so much value, gives you so much mobility. You would play the second gadget, the second star power in combination with shield and damage. And yeah, I did such awesome plays with Stu. Like, he's just one of the best brawlers in my opinion in the game. He's so much fun to play. So yes, it's kind of hard to get brawlers down like tanks. You know, when you have like a 2-cube Stu and you face a 2-cube Primo that is teaming with someone, you will have a tough time getting 1 tank down already, and then facing like 2 tanks, especially against teamers, you will have a tough time, but he still has a lot of potential. Piper's also A tier, not S tier right now. There's not a lot of maps for Piper, so I rank her A tier. You still can play her on maps like Dark Passage, maybe also on 55 or Double Trouble, but yeah, not too many options for Piper actually. The build would be first gadget. It also lets you reload your ammo, by the way, so you can actually spam your shots on some enemies. Use the second star power and shield plus damage. Pam hasn't been in the Showdown meta for quite a long time now. She's also one of those OG brawlers. I think she's not too bad. She's just missing the right maps. I rank her B tier. You know, she's not good, but she's also not bad. So we play the second gadget, the second star power, the mythic gear, and the last gear is up on you. You can play damage, shield, +1. You could play heal or whatever. So there's a lot of choices. I personally would probably go with the shield. And yeah, Frank. Frank was a tough one for me because, well, I didn't know, should I rank him B tier? Should I rank him C tier? Frank is complicated. You know, there's obviously insane counters like Shelly, like Brawler could literally just bully you. For no teaming, Frank would be a C tier. For teaming, he's probably a B tier because you just have more options. And if you play him, you want to play the first gadget so you cannot get stunned. The second star power, since you're not going to do a lot of kills anyway. Gears are +1 and also the heal gear. If you want, you can also play shield instead of heal. But well, I mean, Frank has so much HP. I don't think you need another 900 HP on him. Bibi also was a tough one, but I think she simply has too many counters like Buzz, Shelly, Cordelius, Kit, RT, etc. Primo. So I ranked her B tier. It would be just unfair if Bibi would be A tier. She's not that good of a solo Showdown brawler. You can easily outplay her. You would play the first gadget. Star power is up on you. You can play speed and shield. Do whatever you feel like is going to work better for you and adapts to your playstyle. Gears are +1, so the heal is quite nice, and also the shield gear. B also has been Showdown meta quite a lot of times, but she dropped really hard. Like, I cannot give her B tier. I give her C tier because she's just not good anymore. The star power got fixed or got deleted, in better words. You survived with 1 HP. That was very, very strong on her. But now with the new brawlers, the new meta, you won't really stand a chance with B. She might maybe be B tier after the next balance changes. Maybe. I don't know that. But you use the first gadget, the second star power, and shield plus damage. Nani is also a bad brawler. She was quite useful in Marksman Paradise, but the map got removed, so now she's entirely useless. She still does a lot of damage. Still has a good gadget that counters Piper or single targeted brawlers, also like Angelo. So I wouldn't say she's unplayable, but she's not a good Showdown brawler. Build a second gadget, second star power, shield and damage. By the way, you can also play the first gadget. You can make some nice plays with her, like using your super, then porting away so you can escape, or engaging into a brawler if you're like not teaming and then standing in someone and just one-tapping him. That could also work. So first gadget actually also quite good. Maybe even better. I don't know about that. You just should see how your games go. Edgar gets A tier. That's because he's a good kit counter and kit dominates whole Showdown now. So Edgar was like S tier before because of the Lori meter. Now it's kit meter. So Edgar's quite good against kit and has always been a nice Showdown brawler in my opinion. You would play the first gadget so you can always have your jump ready. The second star power, +1 gear and shield gear. If you have, also use the hypercharge. Now we get to Griff, and Griff maybe a bit overrated, but for me it's A tier because the star power is just so good. You always heal. He's so good in combat. It's good against assassins, good against tanks. So I think Griff actually is not the worst brawler, especially very strong with teaming. I think I used to play him when I was teaming like 2 years ago, and I backstabbed so many people. He does so much DPS. So I think it's quite a nice brawler, especially with the star power. And you play the first gadget, second star power in combination with the reload gear and the shield gear. Grom, we don't have to talk about it. D tier, unplayable. It's kind of ridiculous that I have to give you a gadget now, but you would play the first gadget, the second star power. You could also play the first star power for more mobility, so you can run away faster from mortises. That will kill you anyway. But yeah, it actually doesn't matter because Grom is just bad. Pick whatever you prefer and use shield plus damage. Bonnie is also B tier. She got a nice buff, so I think she's actually quite usable in Showdown, especially with the super gear. You just need 3 shots for your super. That's quite insane. So I think Bonnie has some potential. We didn't see her much yet. First gadget, first star power, obviously the super gear, and also +1 because yeah, this gadget is just essential. I think, you know, you want that attack speed, the movement speed to get away or like to get you super faster. I would really recommend that also for pushing, so use +1 on him. Unless you're like, no way, I always need my shield, then play shield, it's fine. So Gale is also B tier for me. He also fell off, was Showdown meta back in the days, but now his tornado got nerfed, so I think that's like the biggest nerf for him. It gives him a bit less value, but you would still play it like the second gadget. Second star power to slow down enemies in combination with shield and damage. Colette was always underrated in my opinion in solo Showdown. I think she's a great brawler. Her gadget is just so good. The super deals so much damage. You can do such easy kills on tanks and stuff. That's insane. The build on her would be second gadget for insane healing. The first star power, so you always make 2 hits when supering. +1 gadget and shield. If you have, obviously use the hypercharge. Belle, unfortunately, quite unplayable. You join Showdown, kid jumps on you, you're dead, switch to your brawler. But if you want to force it, it's the second gadget, the second star power. So if actually, you know, like a mortis or whatever is going for you, they cannot reload and you can literally just kill them and prevents them from reloading. Reload gear and shield gear. Obviously, if you have, also use the hypercharge. Same for Ashe, D tier, unplayable brawler. The problem is you always want to have a max range bar, so in 3v3 you can actually get that. You will often be in combat, so that's not a huge problem, but in solo Showdown, people just won't feed you, won't fill your rage bar unless you're teaming maybe. But for me, quite useless. If you team, like farming your rage bar and then maybe make some kills, might be an okay brawler, but I think I shouldn't rank this brawler better just because you may have like 2 teammates where you farm your rage bar on and then go for an engage. Like, you know, overall I think he's quite useless. Well, actually, if I'm thinking about it, I changed my mind. I think I will actually rank him C tier and not D tier. Like, I think he's bad, but not unplayable. I think he is playable, so I changed my mind. I give him a C tier. You would play the first gadget on him, the first star power in combination with the supercharge gear and also shield damage +1 speed, whatever you prefer. B tier goes to Lola. You want to play the teleport gadget to actually make some nice plays to get away from certain brawlers. Second star power to heal yourself, and you want to play reload in combination with shield. Sam is also C tier. He's a very cool brawler, but unfortunately it's easy to outplay him. Has too many counters like Shelly, Shelly's meter, Search's meter, Cordelius, and all the other brawlers like Buzz. They will just destroy Sam. That's the problem. So the brawler itself isn't that bad, but all the Showdown meta brawlers are countering like crazy. That makes him quite bad. So I give this brawler a C tier. You'd play the first gadget, the first star power in combination with shield and damage. Mandy is quite unplayable, so I ranked her D tier, the worst tier. Problem is that Mandy just has no chance of getting away. For example, hit Edgar, whatever, jumps on you, let it be Buzz, doesn't matter, jumps on you, you have no chance, you're simply just dead, you cannot defend yourself. So for me, it's D tier, even when I pushed her to rank 35 already in solo by teaming. On Dark Passage, by the way, but that doesn't make the brawler great. If you want to force it, second gadget, first star power, and for gears, I recommend using shield and damage. Maisie's the next one on our list, and Maisie, well, I think Maisie is a B tier. I think she has potential to actually be A tier. She used to be pretty good in Showdown, but right now you don't really see her. She got a nerf. She now needs to hit 4 shots to get a super ready, but I think she's still fine. I personally was thinking about ranking her A tier maybe, but well, might be too much here, so I stay with B. You play the first gadget, second star power. Also, I recommend using +1 and shield. If you have the hypercharge is very strong on Maisie, so if you have it, even better. And Hank, well, if you team with someone, Hank can actually be quite good also playing with the walls and stuff, so it's also a question about ranking him B or C tier. It's not the easiest question, but I think overall, you know, when I see a Hank and I'm playing Buzz, for example, I super that guy. He needs quite long to charge his super. I kill him, and for me, he never really was a big threat, unless it was like 5 win traders or teamers in the lobby, and he just used the walls to keep me away. But I think it would be very hard anyway to play against 5 teamers, but yeah, for me, that doesn't make the Brawler great as a Showdown Brawler. So for me, just C tier, even when he has an insane super now, like it's healing, it can one-shot people, so that's actually crazy. And I don't quite understand it, but Pearl is really not in the meta right now, not being used by anyone, kinda. And I cannot understand that, because I think Pearl still does huge DPS, and if Piper is an A tier Brawler, then Pearl also deserves an A tier in my opinion, because insane DPS, especially with the first gadget, the burning damage is crazy. She gets a shield, important for Showdown. Her super is good, gives a knockback, does massive damage, has an hypercharge, and also in combination with like the +1 gear or shield damage, whatever, she makes a very good Showdown Brawler in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, but I don't quite understand why Pearl fell off so hard. Larry and Lori joins the same tier as Hank. Now, kinda bad Showdown Brawler. I think Willow, for example, would be a better Showdown Brawler than Larry and Lori, for example, because Willow still has her gadget. She can poison enemies. If an Edgar jumps on you, then you just click your 3 auto attacks, then you just use gadget and he's bleeding out. That works so well so often. And Larry just needs too long to get a super. And if an Edgar jumps on you and you play Willow or Larry, I would prefer to have a Willow, especially with Willow's super. Just a better thrower in my opinion, so Larry and Lori for me. Now bad Brawler after like 5 nerfs, but you still play the second gadget, the first star power, and shield and damage. Angelo doesn't have the right maps right now, but for me, I will not rank him A tier, but S tier, just because he's still such a crazy Brawler, does so much DPS, and with his super, also on Dark Passage, he has quite a nice map. And if you ask me, on Dark Passage, he's like one of the best picks. You can check the bushes quite well by just instantly shooting with Angelo, deals a ton of damage, you have a getaway gadget, so if he's not getting nerfed, for me, he stays an S tier Brawler. The only problem is he's missing like some good maps right now, so if you want it like that, he's an A tier Brawler, just because there's not the best maps out for him right now, but overall, still a broken Brawler. You would play the first gadget on him, first star power to heal up a bit, shield and damage. And now we get to Mortis. Mortis got a buff, now he deals more damage, which means for me, he's now B tier. Before the buff, he would probably be C tier for me, but I actually rank him B tier. I think he's not that useless. I think he's quite playable now. With teaming, surely possible to push to rank 30. Without teaming, also like 900. I think that's possible. And I recommend using the second gadget, second star power, +1 gear, and shield or damage as you wish. Terra also fell off quite hard. I don't really know where you would like to use her, so either she gets countered by a thrower or by Kit. You know, you have so many better Brawlers than Terra. Terra doesn't really have very nice or good abilities. She has a strong gadget. But in my opinion, Charlie is like just the better Terra, to be honest. I was thinking about ranking her B tier or C tier, because I rarely see her anywhere. And then I decided to put her like on the bottom of B tier. Like it's very close. It also could be C tier, not used a lot. I recommend the second gadget, second star power, +1 gear in combination with speed, damage or shield as you prefer. But I recommend shield. Jean is one of the most fun Brawlers to play in solo Showdown. I ranked him B tier. He has a nice gadget. The pull is cool. Now also has a hypercharge, which gives him some nice stats like speed and damage. And he obviously has an insane range, so I think Jean is actually quite cool. Yes, I would recommend using shield and damage. You can also play the mythic gear if you want. That's up on you. Star power is the second one, so it actually deal like more damage. That's like one more auto attack. You really want that. The other one is useless in Showdown anyway. And the first gadget, obviously. If you have, use the hypercharge on Jean. Same for Max. Max actually now A tier for me. Also quite good on Dark Passage. I think especially in this meta right now, you need a lot of mobility, a lot of assassination opportunities. And I think Max fits that quite well, especially on Dark Passage. She's a common pick here. You would play the first gadget gadget, star power up on you. You know, both star powers are good. Make your own decision here. I prefer to play the second one, so I can just spam auto attacks even more. But I think also the first one is quite good. Shield and damage and hypercharge if you have. Mr. P, unplayable. As I said, Hit, Miko, Edgar, Buzz, Stu, Carl, and so on. He just doesn't stand a chance. Absolutely unplayable. One of the worst Showdown brawlers. But if you want to force it, then I recommend using the first gadget. Maybe the second star power, like the pet power gear, so your pets can carry you, and the shield gear. Same goes to Sprout. Sprout is better than Grom, for example, as a thrower, but that doesn't make him much better. He's still unplayable. Way too many counters. Way too easy to kill, even when you have a wall. But if you want to force it, second gadget, first star power, shield damage, and hypercharge if you have. And Byron, yes, so hard one again. I was thinking about B tier, C tier. Where does he fit better? He got a buff, but that only affects his healing, I think. So his second gadget is quite good. His first gadget is usable. Quite a lot healing, but I think this brawler is like just more than a support brawler. So I went for C tier. If you would like to play him, I recommend the second gadget against assassin or tanks for more DPS. Second star power and shield damage. Not much talking about Squeak. He's also D tier, unplayable. If you would like to force it, then I recommend the first gadget for more damage burst, like for more DPS. The first star power in combination with +1 gear and shield. Lou is quite a decent Showdown brawler, also quite underrated in my opinion. I rank him A tier. The ability to stun people with auto attacks is insane in my opinion. Also the gadget gives you another opportunity to perma-stun your enemies. With the star power you lower their damage, so I think Lou is actually an insane brawler. On gears you would play shield and damage. As I said, gadget second one, star power second one. Also hypercharge if you have. Hypercharge makes him also so strong. So Lou, very nice Showdown brawler in my opinion. Ross is also C tier, like a bad Showdown brawler at all. You know, he just doesn't have a jump or something. You have a gadget that blocks his shots. I also recommend using that. Also use his first star power in combination with shield and damage. But yeah, not a very nice brawler at all. It's quite a cool thing that you can boost up yourself with that power cube. But overall, I don't think he has too much potential, to be honest. Buzz for me at the moment is a S tier brawler. You see him quite a lot in Feast of Famine. You see him in Cavern Churn. The only big counter this brawler has is Shelly. He's just struggling with Shelly all the time. But right now, at this point, many people play him. You can even play him on Skull Creek and closed maps. So we see Buzz quite a lot right now. His hypercharge is quite good. Buffed him. His gadget is useful. So this brawler is quite good overall, if just the Shellys wouldn't be there. I recommend using the first gadget if you play no bushy maps. On bushy maps, you play the second gadget. And if you can, I always recommend like the first star power. The additional stun duration is so important and so strong on Buzz. So make sure that you, if possible, can play the first one. But on maps like Cavern Churn, having a second star power is very nice. You just have way more control. But usually you want to get the Shellys out or other picks, and then you really want to have the first star power. So you have much more time to kill your enemies and deal a lot of DPS before Shelly activates her gadget and bombs you out of the planet. So for gears, I recommend using shield and damage. On bushy maps, you use speed and +1. And hypercharge is quite important on Buzz. I would recommend using it. For Fang, I decided B tier. He's okay. Play the second gadget on him. First star power, shield damage, and hypercharge. You can do very nice kills with him. His hypercharge is very strong. Problem is you need to get your hypercharge, and he's easily countered by Cordelius or Shelly. Well, Eve, I was about to put her like to unplayable because there's no useful map for Eve right now, but I decided to go for C tier. She still does have a good escape gadget, but yeah, Eve is not really recommendable. I really cannot recommend Eve right now. If you would like to play her, then I suggest, well, first of all, waiting for a better map for her, like Ace at Legs, for example. You can go with the first gadget, the first star power, and also the reload gear in combination with like shield, maybe even the mythic gear. That's up on you. Janet was such a nice brawler in Showdown back in the days. You guys know it. I did like 1600 trophies on her. It was quite a fun push. Matchmaking was like 30 minutes. It took really long. But now she fell off quite hard. I would give her B tier. Not really seen often. If you play her, you can actually use both gadgets. But I think it's always better to have some more mobility on the brawler so you can get away from like assassins and stuff, since you not always have your super ready. So I would probably go with the second one. Second star power and shield and damage. And Otis, for me, underrated brawler. I think he's very nice to play in Showdown with his super. So I was thinking about like giving him A tier or B tier. Also a tough decision for me, but I decided to give him B tier. I think he's high B tier, so close to A tier actually, because the super makes this brawler very strong. I think he's quite underrated, and I recommend using the second gadget, the second star power, and also shield and damage. I was thinking about doing like an Otis rank 30 push much, because I think some people don't know how much potential this brawler actually has. But yeah, for now, I stay with B tier. For Buster, I will also go with B tier. He's not too bad, not too good. Has a nice gadget to pull some enemies, also a good teaming brawler. I recommend the second gadget, second star power, +1 gear, and also like damage. Yeah, I think damage gear works good on him, so I would recommend that. Only problem is that he's not dealing too much damage, so if you face like a Primo or a Bull or whatever, you will have a tough time. But against squishy brawlers, he actually is quite good. His range is not too bad, so yeah, I decided to give him a B tier. Gray also gets a B tier. Not the best map for him right now, but you can do so much nice plays with Gray, you know, like using the gadget, using the porters, so there's a lot of opportunities with this brawler. The super gives you a lot of mobility, gives you opportunities to engage or reach certain spots of the map. He also used to be quite good on like acid lakes. And the first gadget is the way to go here. Second one is not too good. Star power doesn't really matter in my opinion, so but I would go with the first one. It also could be good on like the current map Dark Passage, like tanking a Piper shot, only getting 1k damage. That's quite nice in combination with the +1 gear and shield. And you might be surprised about that, but RT for me is an S tier brawler. So why S tier? RT is a great counter against kit, against any kind of assassins, against tanks. So you literally have a tank counter and you're a ranger at the same time. I think RT is the most underrated brawler in the season right now, and I will also upload the video. Maybe it's already online, I'm not sure how the upload schedule is, but you will see that this brawler, especially because of his new gadget, is insane. So the build obviously is the first gadget to always have your super ready against tanks, kits, Edgars, whatever, and just kill them. Second star power, +1 gear, that's very important, and also the shield gear. Willow is like one of the best throwers in the meta right now, behind Dynamite, because her diving gadget really can save her, you know, just doing the taps, as I explained it earlier already, doing some poison taps when diving and letting your enemy bleeding out. Also the super, you can literally just super your enemy, send him to the zone, and he's dying there. That's crazy. And yeah, so the gadget is the second one. Star power also the second one, I think, because if you super someone and then they have so much movement speed, you can literally send them to the edge of the map and they just bleed out there in the zone. And you go with shield and damage gear. Duck is an A tier brawler for me, and it's because he has a lot of potential if you team with someone. I always feel bad when I say that because I don't like teaming, but yeah, has a lot of potential. His gadget is very strong. His super is literally the 8-bit star power from a long time ago, so you can actually be revived, so you have like twice your actual HP, a lot of health. Yes, the range is quite you don't have much room for sick plays with Duck, but he's also very strong on the current map Feast of Famine. And yeah, the gadget, you obviously want to have extra damage, so you play the second one. You can sometimes even one-shot brawler with that, especially on Feast of Famine. When you have that gadget, you can one-shot Shellys. That's crazy. You get the second star power to heal yourself, the +1 gear obviously, and if you play on Feast of Famine, you use the speed gear. If you don't play on Feast of Famine, then you want to play the shield gear. And now we go with Chuck. Well, about Chuck, I don't think he's too terrible in Showdown. I would still rank him C tier. I don't think there's much potential. You just place your 4 stages. In the end game, you just try to use your train and make some good kills, but in reality, that won't be so easy, and people are just not that stupid and run into your stations. So I would say I give him a C tier. You would play the first gadget, the first star power, and also like shield and damage. And I think you can pull off some plays with Chuck, but as I said, in reality, things just look different most of the time, and there's literally just a kid coming and killing you in like 2 seconds. Or even a Cordelia, since he's in the meta, preventing you from supering. And yeah, Charlie also quite fell off. Unfortunately, she's still a B tier, like a decent brawler, decent all-rounder. I think she has potential to get back to like A tier, maybe even S tier. She was meta for quite a long time. Got nerfed again. The build on her would be the first gadget. In Showdown, still the first star power. And for gears, like +1, so you have more spiders, and also the shield one combined with hypercharge. Still a nice brawler, just not in the spotlights right now. Miko is A tier for me because Miko has so much mobility, can jump over walls, you know, you can do such nice kills with the star power. It's really hard to die with Miko because you can always get away. Your super is very strong, so Miko almost S tier in my opinion, but I stick with A tier because you can still outplay her, and you would like to play the first gadget, first star power to actually get some kills on brawlers. Some people play the second one to get the chest opened more quickly, but I think the first one is just essential to actually get some kills on brawlers, so I recommend the first one, even when you need ages to get some chests open. You can also focus like on stealing chests. You know, people are opening chests and then you just jump into the cube. So that works quite often. You can just steal some cubes and you play shield with damage and also hypercharge. Melody is also A tier. Still a good brawler to use. Second gadget, first star power for extra movement speed. Gadget for shield obviously. So makes the brawler quite strong. +1 gear and also shield 1. And about Lily, actually she's like not the best release. Actually we are used to some OP releases, but Lily was quite balanced. I think her gadget is insane. She's an A tier for me, especially because of her gadget. You always want to use that. It's the first one. First star power, so you can one-shot most of the brawlers. +1 gear because you want to have as many gadgets as possible, and also shield gear. Yeah, Lily has quite a lot of potential. You know, she can always escape. You can really pull off some sick plays with this brawler. Assassinate like any kind of thrower, squishy brawler with that gadget. So quite sick one. And we get to the next one, which is Spike, the first legendary one in our list. And Spike for me is a B tier. Doesn't have much abilities to get away or whatever, so I rank him B tier. He's okay. You would use the second gadget, second star power in combination with shield and the mythic gear, and also hypercharge if possible. But yeah, nothing too special about Spike, to be honest. He's just decent, but just play him in 3v3 or like duels, he's just much better there. Crow is an A tier, actually quite decent Showdown brawler. You would play the shield gadget, second damage star power, shield gear and mythic gear in combination with hypercharge. I think Crow's quite decent. You just need to wait until like hit meter is over, and I think you will see him way more often than again. Same goes for Leon, also A tier, very nice brawler. First gadget, second star power, mythic gear and shield gear in combination with the hypercharge. He can pull off very decent plays. A lot of mobility. When someone damages you, you're low, you can always use your super, heal up. You can assassinate with that super. The super has just so much value, which makes this brawler so good, and has a very nice burst. So in the right hands, Leon, a really crazy pick. About Sandy, she's like the best brawler in 3v3 right now, but in solo Showdown, she's more like a B tier at max. You know, she just doesn't have the DPS. Even with hypercharge, she just stays normal, average brawler, because you just cannot get certain brawlers down, and it's just at some point too easy to outplay her. But yeah, you would go with the second gadget. You need that stun, obviously. I recommend the first star power to keep enemies low and don't allow them to heal. Also, you should play the +1 gear because that gadget is really powerful. Also, the shield 1 in combination with, I really recommend the hypercharge. It gives you bonus damage, bonus speed. That's crazy. Also, the sandstorm itself gives you another speed boost, so that makes Sandy a Formula 1 car again. But yeah, still not the best Showdown pick. Same for Amber. I actually rank her C tier, like bad, because it's too easy to outplay her, even with her new gadget with the 3 orbiting flames. I don't think you can keep away tanks or assassins away from you. So yeah, unfortunately Amber not the best pick in Showdown. The gears are reload and shield. Star power, I recommend using the first one. Amak is the perfect teamer brawler, so for every teamer out there, I hate you. Not just kidding. I'm just kidding, all good. But yeah, she's a very tanky brawler, nice DPS, has a good super. And if you team, you know, your teammates probably won't backstab you that quick. So I think it's a really nice brawler if you play in a team. And the gadget would be the first one. Star power, the second one. For example, if an Edgar jumps on you, you can actually kick him away, which is quite important. Dealing a decent amount of damage, and you want to use the +1 gear. And I think shield. Surge, no talking, S tier. I know Surge glazing is real, but Surge is just an S tier brawler. There's no doubt. You would use the second gadget on him, the first star power, because second one is useless. Shield damage, and he's also one of the greatest no teaming brawler, if not the best no teaming brawler. So yeah, an absolute S tier for me. Did the most crazy plays with him. So we move on with the next one, which is Chester. And Chester actually is also a B tier for me. You know, like not unplayable, not too bad, also not too good. He's a quite nice burst with his star power. I think quite underrated at some point. Chester gets a super and you don't know, okay, does he have the bomb ready? Does he have the poison that poisons me for like the next 20 seconds? Is it the stun so I cannot move and he can easily kill me? Is he camping in the bush with the stun super? And that makes the brawler so strong, you will never know what super does this Chester have, and that makes him so dangerous because you cannot read it. It's an excellent brawler, but yeah, overall still B tier. You would play the first gadget in case you have a bad super ready, like the slow, for example. First star power is essential, and shield plus damage. Cordelius is also an S tier brawler. brawler. You don't see him that often anymore, but he's still one of the best in Showdown. You would use the second gadget, the first star power for extra damage. 30% is crazy. Shield damage and hypercharge. You can outplay so many brawlers. Like, you've never seen a Cordelius hypercharging into a Surge. That Surge is just that. Surge could have like 5 cubes more, and it's so hard to fight a Cordelius then. And yeah, also a great teaming brawler. For example, Cordelius and Frank just playing together, always going into the Shadow Realm. So no doubt about Cordelius being S tier. And the last brawler obviously is Kit. Kit is also the strongest solo Showdown brawler in the game right now. We would play the first gadget here, the first star power, which double ups every cube you collect, and that is just crazy. Shield damage gear. I did so many videos about Kit already. She's insane. Play her now or never. And yeah, that's all the brawlers ranked in solo Showdown. I really hope you liked this list. It took a lot of work. If you liked this video, leave a like. If not, leave a dislike. Hope this helped you a bit, and see you to the next video. Your SnakeThug. Peace.